the Zoom as well, because we record this in the Zoom and we record it on Bigo. Well, we don't record it on Bigo, but we also have Bigo. Okay, so we got the internet working, which is good. So because I live stream every morning, I use more data than I have available. I still have 4 more days before my data resets, and I still have data, but it is just a little bit slow. But let's not let that detract us. We are going to read. Reading is a great start to the day. I also just finished the vibe, and they peer pressured me into doing my yoga as Mario, which I was dressed up as for New Year. So I decided to change for you to make myself look a little bit more presentable. Rich Dad Poor Dad is the book that we're going to read, but I only have the Chinese version. I understand that most of you do not speak Chinese. So we're reading The Art of Thinking Clearly, which is another great book. The Secrets of Perfect Decision Making. We're up to chapter 61. So yes, for everybody that asked whether I am new on Bigo and whether I am doing this for the first time, definitely not. I've already done 61 episodes or more. Most of it reading this amazing book. So I know that everybody has goals to work on, things to do, amazing lives to live. So we're going to get started. Chapter 61, Why Small Things Loom Large, the Law of Small Numbers. Here we go. You sit on the corporate board of a retail company with 1,000 stores. Half of the stores are in cities, the other half in rural areas. At the behest of the CEO, a consultant conducted a study on shoplifting and is now presenting his findings. Projected onto the wall in front are the names of 100 branches that have the highest theft rates compared to sales. In bold letters above them is his eye-opening conclusion. The branches with the highest theft rate are primarily in rural areas. After a moment of silence and disbelief, the CEO is first to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, the next steps are clear. From now on, we will install additionally safety systems in all rural branches. Let's see those hillbillies steal from us then. Do we all agree? Probably not. Not completely. You ask the consultant to call up the 100 branches with the lowest theft rates. After some swift sorting, the list appears. Surprise, surprise, the shops with the lowest amount of shoplifting in relation to sales are also in rural areas. It always pays to double check. The location isn't the deciding factor. You begin, smiling somewhat smugly as you gaze around the table at your colleagues. What counts is the size of the store. In the countryside, the branches tend to be small, meaning a single incident has a much larger influence on the theft rate. Therefore, the rural branches rates vary greatly, much more than the larger city branches. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to the law of small numbers. It has just caught you out. The law of small numbers is not something we understand intuitively. Thus, people, especially journalists, managers, and board members, continually fall for it. Let's examine an extreme example. Instead of the theft rate, consider the average weight of employees in a branch. Instead of 1,000 stores, we'll take just 2, a mega branch and a mini branch. The big store has 1,000 employees. The small store, just 2. Those 2 are going to be disproportionate. The average weight in the large branch corresponds roughly to the average weight of the population, say 170 pounds, whatever that is in kilos. I do not know. I do not speak American. And there is such a large sample size. And this is where a lot of research goes wrong. They have small sample sizes. Regardless of who is hired or fired, it will not change much. Also, having the wrong sample size and not having a large enough sample size can be used to manipulate us and you and everybody by giving you incomplete data, or such as they have people walk out of a shop and they only ask 9 out of 10 people that have already bought the correct dog food, what's your favorite dog food? And they will answer your brand name if they've already bought it. There are so many tricks to being manipulative with statistics. It's unbelievable. Unlike the small store, in these cases, the store manager's colleague, if rotund or reedy, will affect the average weight tremendously. So if you've got one person who is a little bit larger in that rural store, it's going to put the average a lot higher. Or if they are extremely skinny, it's going to put the average a lot lower because the sample size is so small. Let's go back to the shoplifting problem. We now understand why the smaller a branch is, the more its theft rate will vary from extremely high to extremely low. No matter how the consultant arranges his spreadsheet, if you list all the theft rates in order of size, small stores will appear at the bottom Large stores will take up the middle, and the top slots are again going to be small stores. So the CEO's conclusion was useless. But at least he doesn't need to go overboard on a security system for all the small stores. And this is how businesses can save money. Don't just throw money at a problem that may not be a problem. And very often we take a limited amount of information, use that information, and then get caught up in it. Suppose you read the following story in the newspaper. Startups employ smarter people. A study commissioned by the National Institute of Unnecessary Research has calculated that the average IQ in American companies. The result, startups hire Mensa material. What is your first reaction? I'm sure everybody gets what's going on here right now. Hopefully a raised eyebrow. This is a perfect example of the law of small numbers. Startups tend to employ fewer people. Therefore, the average IQs will fluctuate much more than those of large corporations, giving the small and new businesses the highest and lowest scores. Not only the highest, but also the lowest. The National Institute study has zero significance. It simply confirms the laws of chance. So watch out when you hear remarkable statistics about any small entities, businesses, households, cities, data centers, anthills, parishes, schools, etc. What is being peddled is an astonishing finding, is in fact a humdrum consequence of random distribution. In his latest book, which is not so late anymore, Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman reveals that even experienced scientists succumb to the law of small numbers. How reassuring and also how not reassuring, because we are the people that consume this information and make our decisions based on what other scientists are telling us. And let's not go into it too deeply, but there are quite large industries, pharmaceutical industry, a couple of other industries, where they actually pay to get certain results for their research. And one of the ways in which you can do that is creating a small sample size, picking the right people, not having a really broad base of people that you are working with. There are a lot of ways in which we can be manipulated. So be careful of that, be wary of that, and go through life a little bit more skeptical, and it will help you to achieve greater success. It will help you to be able to avoid some challenges in life, and it will help you to be able to achieve your goals very often. So I'm going to say hello to a few people on Bigo. There's lots of people saying different things and commenting and leaving a little smileys and different other things. So I'll quickly say hello to everybody, and then I'll tell you what tomorrow's chapter is going to be. And yes, it is Thursday, which means that there is still a tomorrow. Usually I say on Friday, I'll see you tomorrow, which is not the case. Tomorrow, chapter 62, Handle with Care, and the subtitle is Expectations. And Mladen is also talking about, let's have a look. Remember chapter 2 days ago, this chapter is a proof that little is not always more, or am I mistaken? No, absolutely, less is more. And Mladen has also shared twitter.com/businessteam61 is where you can find me on Twitter, and Instagram is business_team_6_official. And so you can find us there. You can also go to YouTube to watch replays of the readings and my commentary. And I would love your comments and ideas and thoughts as well. You can find us there at the Passive Cashflow Club. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And on Instagram, feel free to reach out, say hello, leave me a DM, and check out what else we put up there. We have a lot of very interesting things on the Instagram. Have an amazing day. I'm looking forward to chapter 62 and reading that for you tomorrow. Have a great day. Go out and achieve your goals. And yeah, make sure that you do some reading every day. And if you don't have time for it, I'll do it for you.